guys, Tony here, CCxRC, and as you can tell already, we had the RS4 Sport 3 Flux out for its first run on video. I actually took it out for a couple runs that didn't get any good video at all, and I'll get into that in a little bit, and there's more run video to come after this. But I also wanted to just point out a couple of things I got in the mail here. First off, I've got these magnetic body posts here that are going to go into the Vitera V100 build. I've got the drive shaft aluminum, and I got the diff joints here for that drive shaft, also in aluminum. Still waiting on a couple other parts, but the rear dog bone drive shafts, CVs, and their washer pieces in the mail. And something special and different that doesn't have anything to do with these speed cars that I've been talking about recently. I went into Level 3 RC store and I picked up this. This is a dual motor mount for my SCX10. So I've got that possibly coming here in the future. I'm not fully decided on that, but I think I'd like to have all that torque from that. I also got some acrylic conformal coating. Oh yeah. More waterproofing of electronics using this for it. Liquid electrical tape, just to have around when I don't want to use Plastidip. I can paint this on, and some dielectric grease for waterproofing. So this is stuff for builds. I've got this battery, we'll talk about it in a second. All right, so let's talk about the RS4. So it's a mixed bag for me still at this point about how I feel about it. There's one huge negative that I have found, and we'll take this off and we'll talk about it. The bell crank steering here. They've got it set in so low and so tight on the chassis in here that any little small pebble or rock that can get in there will jam up the steering and it'll lock it. It was so bad on my very first run with it. I'd taken out on an abandoned road that looked pretty clean. But the little pebbles get thrown up by the tires under the body and they land right in here and it causes some problems. So at some points I would lose steering and it would be jammed, and I'd just throw the throttle or throw the steering the way that worked, left or right, whichever the case may have been, and then it would free up that rock and it would kick it out. But at the end of the day, after about 8 minutes of running and just frustration, it got locked totally left. I couldn't do anything to get it out, shaking, using my hand, trying to force it out. Completely jammed under there. Ended my night out running it. But worse than that, I was trying to get the steering so that if I wasn't holding on to the steering at all, it would drive straight. And I was able to do that. However, when I would really punch the acceleration, anything beyond midway, even if I was slowly going, it would start to just pull really hard anyway. And the steering on these at that speed, I mean, it can get out of control pretty quickly. So I don't know enough about these to know if there's an issue. I will say though that on the left side of the car is where the battery goes. And I was running this huge 3S 5000 milliamp 35C LiPo battery. So maybe the weight, I don't know. I'm really at a loss here, guys. So if you know what I'm dealing with this, or if you've had issues with it, let me know in the comments, because it was kind of disappointing. But currently, it's the only battery I have that has a Dean's connector on it, which is why I was using it, because I don't have an adapter and I didn't have time to. I'm going to be converting this to Traxxas, and I'm also going to convert this battery. I just picked this battery up used. It works great, but yeah, I'm going to have to change off this connector to make all my other batteries work with it. So that's the issues that I'm having with it. It's been tough. Because it sits so low, there's very little ground clearance. Any little step up in the cement or the pavement, like in my driveways where I ended up running it and finally got video footage that was fairly decent at pretty high speeds. And I was going in the way that most of it was a step down, but at the very end there was a little bit of a ridge, and it would just send this back end kicking up into the air it would land all right, but I'm not wanting to destroy this chassis kind of at the moment. I've already kind of torn up the diffuser here in the rear a little bit. So that's something to get used to. Got to have a really smooth surface. The tires, I will say, they hook up really good. I do like these for stock tires. But it's got plenty of power, plenty of speed. Kind of blew me away when I was first hitting it. I couldn't believe how quickly it would take off. So I'll leave you guys with a little bit of run video, but know that I'm still learning, and it's not great because of just the elements that I had. The time that I'm working in here, I'm heading out of the country for a couple of weeks on a work trip, and so I just really wanted to get out and play with it. I might even include some of the footage from the first night where I was having a lot of issues, but it's not very fast. But you can see kind of where I was. So anyway, guys, we'll catch you later, and thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.